But they did bring back Silence of the Lambs for like a month, so I watched the hell out of that because I love Silence of the Lambs. It's my favorite horror film. Because I don't count the second Aliens film because it's more action packed than anything. It's an action movie. It's sure it has some scary elements, but Aliens is action. It's just badassery. Even though half of everyone dies. Now, the first one, that was horror. It was slow horror, but it was good. For the time, that was pretty good. But I think my sister put it pretty well. The second Aliens film is more enjoyable because there's nothing in there that kind of dates the film. Like, cinematography-wise, and just the way it looks. Because then we watched the second Predator film, and she felt like she was watching it, yeah, that feels like a movie from the 80s. It doesn't feel just like a movie. It is a movie from the 80s, and that's all it is. Which, yeah, I get that too. Even though I love Predator, I love the Predator franchise. I love it so much. But the movies feel like they're from the 80s. But rewatching, I also, sorry, I know this, rewatched Terminator when it was on YouTube for a bit. That movie, again, it just felt like a movie. Sure, it was nostalgic because I was rewatching Terminator. I know everyone prefers the second one, but I liked I like Kyle Reese. No hate to John Connor. I think, but I have to be honest, and I'm probably gonna get so much hate for this, and I don't care. My favorite Terminator movie of all time is Terminator Salvation. I make no apologies. That movie was so freaking good. I don't care what anybody says. I love it. Especially since I watched the third Terminator. No, it was the fourth one. I watched the third one, wasn't that impressed with it, but didn't hate it because it led into the war. It led into the war. Doomsday happened, and there was nothing they could do about it. It was how John Connor and his wife met. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Pretty cute. Kind of like a meet cute but apocalypse movie. That's fine. She was a veterinarian, which is cute. I really did enjoy that. But then Terminator 4 happened. We're not talking about the others, because I didn't watch them. Terminator 4 happened, and I fucking hate that movie. Even though my dad liked it. And we had a few arguments. Like, I'm just saying. The Terminator 4 was so... I don't mind when a story breaks boundaries. I don't mind it. Or not breaks boundaries, but subverts expectations, like the way it did. But the way and the manner in which, I'm gonna put that under actually. The manner in which that movie just completely disregarded all the other films set up a trend that is now killing the Terminator franchise. Where every time a new movie comes out, they feel like they have to reboot the franchise instead of just making a straight-ass sequel. And that movie started a trend that has killed the Terminator franchise. As far as I'm concerned, Terminator is dead unless they make, like, a movie that is during Judgment Day. But guess what? Salvation did that. They made a movie that happened not during Judgment Day. It was during the war. You know, the war that everyone talks about that's saying we have to prevent, but never actually show us. This movie showed us the war. Sure, we saw it from the eyes of this one asshole that was a convict that I don't remember what he was arrested for, but he was on death row. and he agreed to give his body to science or whatever so they could do whatever with him. And they turned him into they experimented on him so that they could later make the T-800. He was the prototype for the T-800. But he was still mostly human, but he had machinery, on the inside, and had some chips in his brain that made him do certain things. That's why when he woke up after 800 years in stasis, he woke up and he knew he had to go find someone. Which, first watching it, I thought he was looking for the scientist lady or his brother, because he didn't know he was in the future. He just thought he was elsewhere. Yeah, I did like that movie. A lot of people give it shit, and I don't know why. Compared to the other Terminator films, I mean, of course, no one touches the second one, because the second one, everyone agrees, is like the perfect movie, which I did enjoy it. It's just, I like Salvation because it gave us a peek into the future we're trying to prevent. And yeah, it was bad. It was pretty bad. But I feel like the movies made it look worse. Like, the first film was pretty good at making the future look bleak and hopeless, while Salvation made it look like normal day in Los Angeles. Sorry, I hate Los Angeles. But yeah, because if you watch the first film, everyone's in bunkers, it's dark, it's dirty, everyone's coughing and bleeding, and the resistance fighters are just tired young men that know how to use a gun. That was the resistance, just tired people that knew how to use a gun. That was it. And then it just showed how bleak and hopeless it was, and how really the Terminators did not have to hunt everyone down. All they really needed to do was just starve out the humans, and they would have won the war. But of course, then we wouldn't have had a movie. I did enjoy watching Salvation. I think, yeah, it is my favorite Terminator film. But I say that only because everyone will just say, well, what about the second one? Well, duh, I like the second one. But it's not like, that's just kind of a given. If you like Terminator, your favorite is the second one. That's not saying anything special. Unless you explicitly say, I don't like the second Terminator, and here's why. If you can even get that far into your sentence without being killed.